19 minutes into the second quarter. Cousins can't find Platten around the corner. The kick went away, however, from Rowe. Philip Graham's there trying to burrow his way up. Was Rowe again. Van Dommel got it over now. Graham wants help. He can't find a running player. Connolly caught. Back to Graham in the 1-2. He's under pressure as well. The Bay's tackling brilliantly. But the umpire said it was a push in the back. Graham Campbell would be a lot happier now with the way they're going, although you don't exactly see him cheering that decision. Philip Graham, half-forward line. Too far for Fraser. Coming to meet it now is Moles, but Duthie's got too much pace. Gets the kick away. The bounce will decide. Vivian out there. And Duthie, not Duthie, it is Talbot. He's legged. And the free kick will go the way of the dog wingman.
7-2 the Dogs, 10-5 the Tigers. A quick kick away to Nosworthy. Talbot comes in to stand the mark. Well, what a game it's been. Fast and furious right from the opening bounce. The 8th kick coming up to the Bulldog Rover. Goes short. There's a lead on there from Bubner. Oh, that came unstuck. Salisbury showed a lot of courage in intercepting. Out it comes now. Might have been a high tackle, that one. It'll be a free upfield. Babe over there getting to his feet, Kidney. And Alan Stringer it is who kicks out towards Talbot. Give us a good pass too. Talbot's got it at centre wing. Leads on from Tony Hall. That's where it's going. You need to mark it because the Bulldogs will smother now. Van Dommel, Nosworthy, Platten on a lead. Salisbury right with him. Plays it close to the line. The umpire will now throw it in. Salisbury has been a real improver in league football. Came under a lot of pressure earlier for his, or for the way he played the game, I guess. But his body at the ball. Van Dommel caught. Kidneys was a good tackle. Vivian's in trouble. Great tackle then by Talbot. The umpire will have to bounce.
The Bays are putting pressure on Peter, that's for sure. 10-5 to 7-2. Over 20 minutes gone, second quarter. Big crowd, probably 24,000 people here now. Holst sidesteps well, gets onto the left leg, drives a long one to the half-forward line, copping behind the pack, Cousins in front. Hearn off the half-back line. The kick is high, going back towards centre wing. McDermott in late. Van Dommel took exception. Nosworthy stands and looks. Unusual for Mark. He likes a bit of a dust-up.
Well, if umpire Kinnear was running in then, I would say McDermott copped 3 to the chin. I don't know what he was looking at.
Nosworthy got the 15 metres. That brings him to the attack side of centre wing. Vivian, half-forward line. Running player going through was Rowe. Doesn't want him. Bubner gives the lead. He's going towards that player at the half-forward line. Kernahan back in defence. Bubner can't get it. Kernahan can. Gives away the handball. Spot on to McFarlane. And his kick's a shocker off the side of his boot. Simons is going to have to work hard. He's got David Bubner there with him. Well shepherded McFarlane. Simons, short. Finds Stringer, bit of a dust-up behind play. Stringer plays on now to the lead of Alan Stringer, looking for his brother. Stringer touched it first. Pryor finished up with the ball, and I think the umpire's going to play the mark.
Got to pay the mark.
Going to throw it in.
Well, it's hard one to follow. I think the umpire might be saying that the ball was touched off the boot. That's all I can
Peter, I thought Stringer
say.
got his hand to the ball first, and then Pryor finished up with it.
Right, well, that could be another way of interpreting it. Carey got it down. Holst was tackled well. Kidney hasn't got up yet. I tell you what, they're getting a bit fast and furious out there at the moment. Holst is down. He gets a pat on the head from Simons. I can't imagine David Holst being down for too long. Kidney's got a bad eye by the look of it. Got a bit of a whack. Down goes Van Dommel. Things are getting a little bit tight out there. David Holst on all fours at the moment, and he's a sick boy. In fact, he's coming off. Looks to be concussed, David Holst. Kernahan got up to Motlop. Here's a big chance for Carey. He'll go short. Tony Hall's at centre-half forward. There's a Bulldog player down who hasn't moved. Tony Hall's got the ball, can't do a thing with it. There was an evener upper there, I can tell you. It's in the left forward pocket. The umpire will throw it in. He hasn't moved.
Peter, I don't know who it is that marked Nosworthy down. And his eye, yes, he's starting to move now. He's awake at least. Stretch has gone out for him. And Holst is looking very seedy indeed. And gee, it's a bad-tempered game now, that's for sure. Kidney's back on his feet. Gee, it's a battle of the walking wounded at the moment. Off goes Norsworthy on a stretcher. The umpire might hold up play. Yes, he will. And no, the umpire will take it back as Mark Norsworthy is stretched from the arena. Well, who have we got on the bench for them? That will be Stephen Bohm, or who's the other player? It is Stephen Nolan. Now, Nolan's going to come on. The umpire said we can start play again. Some anxious faces in the dog camp. Gee, players going down like flies.
Great mark out there by Talbot. Well, it had to happen. Players were getting hit pretty high all day long, and they can't go on for too long. McDermott in front. Through goes Kidney. Carey's got it. Something's bound to happen now. Out it goes to McDermott. He shapes up, but the kick is well astray. Tony Simon's in there. No, he didn't control it. The umpire will have to throw it in. Yes, you've got to control that ball before it crosses the line. He didn't do it. Carey uses the body well. The big fella did it brilliantly. Couldn't get boot to ball. Hearn goes down, and that's a push in the back. Oh, they're in it again. Kidney's down there. He caught one. In goes Alan Stringer. They're coming from everywhere at the moment. Down goes Motlop. He got hit pretty hard. Whack. I tell you what, there's a couple of big ones thrown in there.
Peter, they're idiots, you know, because the umpires are standing there. All they'll be doing is going for their books and taking names, and they'll all get a visit to the league on Monday or Tuesday night. Now, Hannam is being spoken to. I wouldn't be at all surprised. I don't know whether he's been reported or not, but I tell you what, there were some heavy fists in there.
The finger went out towards Hannam there, but
well, he's going to get the free kick, Peter. So if he's going to get a free kick, Peter Carey was spoken to, and it's unlike Super to lose his cool like that. But Hannam comes out with a kick, so maybe he's not been reported.
Well, let's hope not. Up they go. Marshall couldn't take the mark. Tell you what, it's not all over yet either. You can bet on that. Out comes Marshall. Gets rid of it quickly. Through goes McFarlane. Flattens in pretty hard. The tackle's applied and umpire Hilton will bounce it. Gee, I tell you what, Alan Stringer skirted around the back of the pack, and he was out of the area. He didn't want to know about it.
In a flash, Peter, and Hannam was after him.
Up goes Kernahan. He caught one high and he gets it. Well, Simons is on a lead. Kernahan didn't quite see him. Holster's going down to the rooms for a powder, and Kernahan shoots it up forward towards Carey. The big chap couldn't mark it. The whistle's gone. The man in front's got it. That's McGrath. He'd have good memories of the last game. I don't think he thinks too much of Alan Stringer. He puts it up towards Graham. The punch away, didn't work. Kernahan skirting behind the pack. Shoots it around but couldn't find anybody. It went straight to Pryor.
Pryor on the half-back line has Cousins moving for him, and the big fella pops one up short. It's not a good one. Motlop can't grab it. McFarlane can. Salisbury into the action. Goes for a bounce down grandstand side. Now kicks in long. Hall going to get a leap. Big one. Can't bring it down. Carey's got Simons. Super gets the kick away. What a super goal. Oh no. It looked to be spot on, but it was just touched by Nolan, and he's run it through his own goal line. Robert Odie.
Norsworthy's days down below. He's just resting at the moment, Ian. Seems he may come back on after half-time. He's not feeling in the best of condition after that heavy knock.
That was a good word, Robert. Dazed. I'll tell you what, that's the most stunned mullet form of dazed I've seen in my life. He was in a lot of trouble. But if he's only dazed now, that's fortunate. Through goes Alan Stringer. Wanted a free kick, but it wasn't there. The umpire's going to bounce it. We're closing on 28 minutes. It's been a fiery old second quarter. Gee, there's no one on the bench there. The Tigers have got a clear bench. Carey shoots it back. The handball comes out from Campbell. Wasn't a good one. Krieg picked it up and gave it across to Thomas. He shoots it out long. Here's a chance of the Bulldogs now if they get it over the top. Fraser can do nothing with it. Graham threw it out. Then off hands it comes. Through goes Nolan. A big chance for the Dogs. Krieg puts it over. In comes Seaborn. Off hands to Bubner. Back it goes to Fraser. Here's a chance. He sets it up. Oh, he's missed.
Seaborn down.
Seaborn copped a high one on the run through. I don't think there was much in it. I think it was part of the play, but the Bulldogs needed one then, Ian.
I agree there, Peter, both ways, that there wasn't much in it, but there's a lot in it for the Bays because Seaborn is not well at all, and gee, they've already got a couple of injured players. Gibbs over the top, but Kernahan's going to get a free kick for a push out by Cousins. Stretcher for Seaborn, or is it? No, there's the hands go up. Stretcher's coming out now. Well, that's bad news for the Bays because Seabohm was in brilliant touch. At the back there, Kidney couldn't get it. Roundhouse right. Stretcher's gone back, but gee, he's not in a healthy condition. Van Dommel, no, free kick. Umpire Hilton's going to bring it back, and you think the umpires have got their hands full. There was a hit on Kidney behind the play. I didn't see it. Now the Stretcher's out to... Stretcher is out there to Seabohm. It's lying on the ground and Seabohm gets onto it and he's going to be stretched off the arena, so the umpire will wait once more whilst that player leaves the ground. 10-6 Glenelg, 7-3 Central. Seabohm stretch it off to the arena. Robert Odie.
I'm sure that stretcher was brought on here just to waste time to make sure that the game stopped and enable the new player to get on the ground. John Seabohm with a leg injury. Not like the old days, they would have normally carried him off.
Play goes on. A long kick by McFarlane. Up towards Hall. Once again got his hands to it. Rowe in trouble. Marshall close to the line. And it's a throw in right forward pocket. Gee, what's happened this quarter? Seems to have taken a lifetime. 10-6 to 7-3. Graham Campbell aging on the spot.
Gone for the phone. You probably want to know what's wrong with Seabohm. Off it goes to Hall. Great work. Carey. Motlop left foot goal. Oh, that's the way to do it. First goal, Motlop. Glenelg 11-6. The Dogs 7-3.
What classic ruck work there from Peter Carey. That was the perfect tap back. And Carey's killing them in ruck. He's having a spell at full forward at the moment. But even up there, he's using his body well to create opportunities. He takes the ruck throw-ins in the pockets. And he's clearly Glenelg's best player at the moment. 11-6 Glenelg, 7-3 the Dogs. And there's one happy supporter. She got the right colours on.
Kernahan shoots it out wide with the backhand. David Bubner did it well. Back it goes towards Wayne Stringer. Good interception there. Nolan was on the mark. Seabohm appeared to cop a high one. It was unintentional, but then he was holding his right buttock area. Found it very hard to walk. I think that's why the stretcher came on as well. Oh, mistake, Campbell. He has to shoot it out towards McFarlane. He goes for distance but doesn't get much. Marshall goes up in the middle of the pack. McDermott. There's Platten. He's in a bit of trouble and umpire Kinnear will bounce.
Gee, Peter Platten started like a rocket. I think he got about the first 3 kicks of the match, but since then they've tightened on him.
He copped the first head-high tackle too, Ian.
He's had 9 kicks though.
Yes, he's quietly effective. Rowe there, but Alan Stringer swoops on the ball, puts it out to Motlop. He just found him, only just. There must have been centimetres in that. McGrath's having a go at the boundary umpire, but I've never seen him change their mind yet. Copping. Siren's gone. Copping might have a pop shot from there.
It's been a long quarter, Peter, 32 minutes.
Tell you what, Ian, I don't know I don't know that I've seen that much action for a long time. It's a bit like a bit like one of those Rocky movies. There goes Copping. The goal here would be handy, but he won't get it. It's punched through. The umpire is going to pay the point. And there it is at half-time in an action-packed game here at Football Park. The Tigers 11-7, the Dogs 7-3.
And so after a fiery first half at Football Park this afternoon, the Bays led by 28 points at the half-time break. Certainly, Central Districts were first out of the gates. Of course, a brilliant opening start to that game this afternoon. They kicked something like 5 goals in 8 minutes. But, Robert, really from that point on, Central's lacked method for the entire day.
Yeah, they couldn't seem to get any cohesion whatsoever, Rick. For some unknown reason, they had 5 goals to nothing. They made a couple of very bad errors. A couple of players, one player gave a handball to an opponent who ran in and created a goal. Then on the half-back line, Brett Hannam took a wild swing at a ball when perhaps judgment should have told him to take possession of the ball, and he just banged it clear, and Glenelg swooped in and kicked another goal, and then they dropped a chest mark and Glenelg got another goal, and that sort of got Glenelg really going, and they really started motoring. They played the game very hard though, and Ian, probably up forward, it was interesting, that dual full forward system with Hall and Copping. They've gone for a bit of mobility up there, haven't they?
Have they ever, Robert? You look at the firepower of the Bays. You've got Alan Stringer on the half forward line, and he loves just giving people physical pain, doesn't he? He'll run through anything at all. And when you've got Hall, you've got Carey, you've got Kernahan and Copping all up there taking their big marks, and then got the Rovers, I thought the Motlop and young Kidney did very well around the ball. You know, the Bays would have the strongest forward set up in the league, in my humble opinion. And the other end, Cowboy Neil all year has been lamenting that he hasn't got any height. Well, he hasn't got it in defence either. Now, Hannam would be the tallest of the players back there, and he had Carey and Kernahan trying to mark over them, and simply they weren't tall enough in defence or offence. And I don't know where he's going to find some tall players between now and next week.
Yes, the other thing across the centre, though, Peter Carey was allowed to go rather loosely, wasn't he? He dropped back into the middle of the ground when he was in the ruck, and the central ruckman ran back into defence, and all the time Carey just stood in the centre and just made position. He made position to receive as Glenelg came out of defence. He made position to receive the opposition ball as it came out. He was always a loose man there, and it gave David Marshall that opportunity to read off hands, to make position. Well. And then Marshall, in the end, of course, as the game wore on, he got more confident. He started to sneak right up into that half-forward line, and he's such a wonderful kick. You can't afford to have him getting there. But, you know, I think Kevin Neal will be doing a bit of homework this week. He won't be sleeping too well tonight.
Robert, also, too, the Bays proved they're flexible, you know, because arguably two of their best players prior to half-time were David Holst, who came on to play as a run-on player with McDermott, and also John Seabohm at centre-half back. Well, they were both off the turf by half-time, so the Bays had to reorganise, and they came up brilliantly even after they lost those two key players.
It's a credit to Seabohm, isn't it, that he played so well, because one remembers he played as a back pocket player in the reserves, and it looked as though in some respects he wasn't going to make it as a league player. And since Graham Campbell's been at Glenelg, he's played at centre half back. He's got such fine touch. A couple of his disposals from half back were superb on his left foot. So good luck to Glenelg. They certainly deserve their win.
Should be a great game next Sunday. I believe Glenelg take on Port Adelaide. And of course, now Centrals have to take on Nord in that first semi-final coming up next Saturday. Just checking details from the qualifying final this afternoon. The final scoreline, Glenelg 19 goals 17, 131 points, defeating Centrals on 12 goals 11, 83. The goal kickers for Glenelg, Hall got 6, Copping 3, Kernahan, Holst and Marshall all 2, while for Centrals, Platten got 4, Connolly 3 and Moulds 2. And the stats from that game, the kick department, Glenelg 220, quite a lot there. Centrals 182, the marks 93 to 74, handballs 105 to a century for the Centrals side, frees 28 to 27, the rucks out of centre 17 to 12, and the scoring shots were 36 to 23. After the game, Robert Oatey and Peter Marker caught up with both coaches.
Graham, you must have been a little concerned before the start of the match, losing Dennis Russell.
I was, and yet I had a good player in Ross Gibbs waiting for a game on the sidelines, Rob, and he did the job. I mean, they played fun and games with their forward line today and made me play Ross Gibbs centre-half back for a greater portion of the day. But he did a top job, you know. A couple of mishandlings of the ball at certain stages. It was a tough game, and, you know, we worked very hard to win. I thought the boys really showed their character today. We were 5 goals to nothing down, and every break went Central's way in the first 10 minutes of the game. I mean, they played well, but everything went their way. Left foot goals by Philip Graham, and you know, just everything ran for them. We were 5 goals to nothing down. Now, the mugs around town that say we don't handle pressure have had a bad day again, haven't they? Sure. I know you're not one of them, but the blokes that say that. We were 5 goals to nothing down in a final, and we aren't supposed to play well in finals either, I've been told by every second man and his dog. So maybe there's a misconception. I'd like to think there's been a misconception by a few people around the traps, and we've won a game with some conviction. Not without its problems, though. We've lost John Seabohm, and we've lost David Holst with concussion. And one Central Rover inflicted 5 stitches upon my Rover's head, but he paid the penalty. And justice was done. I don't preach that, but when it's on, it's on. And I was very disappointed to see Rob Kidney get 5 stitches in his head from a cowardly blow. I don't endorse that sort of stuff, but when it's done, well, there's got to be an answer, doesn't there?
What about David Marshall again?
Has to be an answer?
Oh, I don't know. You're the boss. There's a few of we smarties, they reckon that David Marshall might have lacked a bit, but today we've got to say something good for him, don't we?
I've never had a moment's criticism of David Marshall since I've been here. I don't know what people expect of the man. He's a marvellous exponent of the skills of football. He takes a mark against the odds, kicks the ball a long way, kicks a goal coming down the ground, and, well, you know, he really did play a marvellous game, and my heart goes out to him, as it does to every player that took the field today. We had a tough time today, Rob. We had 2 blokes couldn't take the field after half-time, and it made it hard, and we also had to come back from 5 goals to nothing down, which is very difficult to do. Not only in a normal game, but in a final, it's doubly hard to do. We've done it, and we've got a lot of belief in ourselves.
We've got a big game next week against Port Adelaide.
Yes, we've earned the right to play them. You know, we thought we were a bit stiff not to finish on top, so we get a chance to prove our wares again next week. So that's it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Coach Neil was beaut for 8 minutes, but not much after that.
Yeah, it was very nice the first 6-7 minutes, wasn't it? But I wasn't, the third quarter I was disappointed in. I thought we misdirected our aggression a little bit. No, I don't think we went, we'll probably get accused of punching heads and things like that, but I thought we ran hard at the body when we should have run hard at the ball, and we just, it's probably my fault a bit because I fired them up a bit at half-time, and I thought we lost a little bit of discipline in the third quarter, and we attacked the man instead of the ball, and that sort of cost us a game, not having control of the ball.
Interesting comment. You fired them up at half-time. Was that because of the way you thought they were playing, or because of what happened in the second quarter? The game fell apart in the second quarter, didn't it?
Well, no doubt, being the losers, we'll cop most of the criticism for the incidents that did occur. But there's two sides out there, and I got none of my blokes who've done anything that I'm ashamed of. You just can't take smacks in the gob all day. And we fought back a couple of times, and people didn't like it. But it's just not basketball; it's a man's game. And I just thought we'd misdirected our attention, our attack in the third quarter, to let them get the ball and then attack the body hard, which I wanted them to do. But they forgot about getting the ball first, and that I thought the third quarter cost us. I thought our other 3 quarters were reasonable.
Yeah. We felt, calling the game, that early in the second quarter you could feel something out there that it was going to go out of control. A lot of the stuff that went on wasn't good. You say that you're not ashamed of anything your players did. Did you see anything wrong coming from the other direction?
Oh no! Look, as I said, it's a man's game, and if someone gets a smack in the ear hole or a whack across the mouth, well, that's par for the course, I reckon. I can't see anything wrong with it. They're grown men. They can't look after themselves. They shouldn't be playing.
Well, Centrals were down and out today, but of course still got one more chance left when they meet Norwood next Saturday in the first semi-final. I thought Peter Carey was without doubt the best man on the ground. Ian, how did you see the others?
I'd have to agree with you, but before I go on, why don't you answer Graham Campbell? He asked you half a dozen questions and you didn't answer one of them.
That's his privilege. It's his turn to be on television. I have my say too often now. Ian. I'd love to hear Graham talk.
I think you're a coward. You should have got into him then.
No way would I. respect him too much. He's the case.
One thing I will say about Graham Campbell, I've said it before, win, lose or draw, at least he'll talk to us, and he's great to interview. And well done, Graham. They played a fine game today, and I agree, the base showed character. No one showed more character than Peter Carey. He was best man on the ground as far as I was concerned by a proverbial mile, and he's in brilliant touch at the moment. Not far behind him, though. I said a proverbial mile, but not far behind him. I thought Tony Simons at centre wing. His was a brilliant performance once more. 22 kicks and 8 handballs, and he's always moving forward, sending the bays into attack. Tony Hall, what an eye-opener he is. A very aggressive player, a big leap. He's got 6 goals for the Bays this afternoon, and he's in the side to stay. Kernahan, once again, well, we know how good Stephen Kernahan is. David Marshall proved a lot of people that they were wrong this afternoon. His attack on the ball, his aggression, it was first class, and I can still remember that smother. He took off the boot, picked up the ball and kicked a goal, and that was brilliant stuff. David Marshall, well done. And the Stringer brothers, they add a little aggression to the Bay side, and I use that word little advisedly. For Centrals, a little disappointing. I thought possibly Johnny Platten, although it wasn't one of his busting days, he kicked 4 goals and still did well in a losing side. Stephen Connolly ran, worked very hard. He had a lot of mates who weren't prepared to work hard, and best of the others were probably Hannam and Hearn in defence, and they had plenty of chance to prove themselves today.
Thanks, Ian. After this short break, we'll cross the border, the elimination final of the VFL.